I'm pretty sure you want to know what the end game is with all of this. If you're the type of person that wants to see things as they really are, then you need to check out this next video. Trigger warning.
But it's also in the cards that we are being played. It's in the cards that they want the population to know how evil, how seditious, how nefarious our rulers are. Believe me, guys, there's nothing that would ever appear on the internet, social media, or on YouTube videos if they didn't want it out. Nothing. They have absolute iron fist control of everything that's released into social media. There are algorithms already into play. There are AI watchdogs already in play. If you think you're releasing something super controversial on X or on Facebook, you're not. You're doing what they want you to do. Because right now, in the apocalypse period, our controllers literally want us to know everything. They want us to see all the participants, whoever's doing what, every bit of it's being put out there, because they're going to offer us a solution. And we're going to take it. As a collective, as a human collective, we're going to take it. And it's in the agreement. There's going to be a great period of peace, a great period of prosperity. Remember, 5 years ago, I was telling you guys, we're heading to a very, it's going to hit people by storm. It's going to be a whole new economy. It's going to hit people by storm, what they can do, the freedoms they have. Everything in the field has been to convince you of a 2030 agenda. Everything in the field has been to convince you that it's dark. Yeah, everything in the field is to convince you that you may as well just commit suicide, because it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Everything in the field has been telling you the exact opposite of the truth. Why do you believe the media when it has been shown that they have told us the exact opposite of the truth about everything? If they have painted every good as bad and evil, why do you believe the evil that comes from mainstream media? Why? In the calendrics, we have a peace and prosperity.
This makes sense as to why everyone online is crashing out on everything. Everyone's snapping, feeling like there's no hope to life, like there's no purpose, like there's no spark, and everything between. Keep listening.
Time coming up. But in order to get there, what we are acknowledging as evil, pedophile governors, pedophile senators, congressmen, presidents, cabinet members, whatever. We are now as a collective acknowledging, man, it's been going on for a long time. We've seen it all. We've seen it all. The writing has been on the wall. They've been showing and they've been revealing it to us because they want us to know. It is in recognition of this darkness that they're going to be able to provide us a false light. It's going to be so ingenious and clever, we're not going to recognize it as a false light, except for the few of us that are really awakened. Luciferian philosophy isn't about bringing a horned devil into the world to rule over. Yeah, that's all the bullshit you see on social media. The Albert Pike Mazzini plan for World War I and World War II came to pass exactly. And when it comes to World War III, it was not about the end of America. United States isn't even mentioned in the plan. Not like Russia and Germany were. Britain's not even mentioned in the plan. The third phase, the Third World War, is a very different type of world war. It was pitting Islam and Zionism against each other. Yeah. But it was recognized in there that the stupid Christian Reich, well, not Reich, but the Christian right would definitely side with Zionism, because they're stupid. They have no idea that the very people they call the children of God are actually hate their guts. But that's Christianity. Not all Christians. A lot of people have waken up. A lot of people are awake now. But still, in that plan, the plan doesn't call for an end of the world. Far from it. The Freemasonic plan, which is being executed through the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and everybody else, this plan is genius, because we know that these people are nefarious, that they're evil. They're going to make it look like they're taking them down. They're going to make it look like that they're doing away with their evil and all that. And people are going to love it. They're going to love it. Heads will roll. People are going to love it. But to usher in Luciferianism isn't bringing in a character that would be recognized as evil. True Luciferianism is providing a substitute for the Savior. The Lucifer doctrine means they're going to bring an angel of light in who is going to literally convince most of the world that he is the very savior and deity that they've all acknowledged in their own cultural ways. He is the Ahura Mazda. He is Quetzalcoatl. He is Varuna. He is Loki, Odin, whatever you want him. He's going to be all things to all people. He's going to heal. He's going to do all these things. He's going to be Jesus Christ, the fulfillment. He's going to literally do everything that's in the gospel. And the Luciferians are going to paint us the picture that we got it all wrong from the beginning. And the Luciferians are literally going to use the Christian power in order, like they've been using the Jews. They're going to switch it over to using Christians as their power base, because they're going to gaslight Christianity into saying, you guys faith, your faith has it right, except for one point.
Did y'all hear that? The powers that control this world are going to use the religion of Christianity to ironclad their agenda and manifest it in order to justify bringing in their end times.
The gospel is prophecy. It never happened. This guy here is the fulfillment of the gospel. And then he goes about the world doing the exact things he feeds the 5,000. He resurrects the dead. He cures the blind. He appears in public in different countries and people touch him and they get healed. The true Luciferian doctrine is providing the world a substitute, scapegoating God. And he's going to fool everybody. He's going to have all the things to say. He's going to look the part. And almost all of Christianity is going to believe the strong delusion. Why? Because they still know their Bible verses. They say faith. Christians still get to claim that the New Testament is true. They still get to default to the gospel. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. What they plan to do is so incredible. They're going to fulfill what never happened in the gospel. I've shown on my channel, citing all the first century authors' works that we have survived today and secondary works that quote the first century authors for whose works we no longer have. And I have proved my point that there are no early writers in the first century that knew this story. Further, there was never a sun darkening and earthquake over Jerusalem in the 30 through 36 AD window. He was supposed to have been crucified at 33 AD. The sun darkened. It stayed dark for 2 hours in the gospel. That's not an eclipse. But they're going to do it, and they're going to do it in perfection.
And what is it that we're seeing all over online, all over YouTube, all over BitChute, Rumble, everywhere? Everyone calling out the juice boxes left and right. The whole world is getting wild up. And now is the perfect time for them to pull off this Project Bluebeam stuff.
They're going to usher in a badass time of peace. They only got 14 more years to do this, guys. They're going to do it way before the 14 years, way before. They're going to deal with the synagogue of Satan. This is their plan. This is the Luciferian plan. They have to deal with the synagogue of Satan. This is the parasite-host relationship where the true movers and shakers, the black rockers of the parasite, now literally use the host to cull the parasite to something super small to where it can't be detected anymore. Same thing that the Jews did to their own people in World War II under Nazism. They sacrificed them. They could have paid to get them all out of there. They didn't. Adolf Hitler multiple times appealed to the World Jewish Congress saying, I will send these at my expense anywhere in the world you want to go. And they all blocked their borders and they wouldn't let him do it. Most of you don't even know World War II history. So the Luciferians intend to bring a real Jesus. And he's going to say all the right things in every language in the world, in every culture that has a religion. They're going to get sucked into it. And he's going to literally fulfill Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the book of Revelation. And when the Phoenix returns in May 16th of 2040, that's when he'll be crucified. Because that's when the sun darkens. It's the sixth seal of the apocalypse. And this is the ushering in of the strong delusion of the book of Revelation, which warns about the synagogue of Satan. He's going to do away with the synagogue of Satan. This Jewish element that rules over the entire world, and the entire world is going to see him as the savior. This is Luciferian doctrine. It is the ultimate spiritual betrayal. It is bringing in a false Jesus. This is the Antichrist. Anti doesn't mean against. Anti is Latin and it means instead of. This is the true Antichrist. And in 2040 and 14 years from now, at the end of his ministry, he is going to be crucified. And he's going to fulfill what's in the Gospels, that he cries out to God, Lama Lama Sabachthani, my God, why have you forsaken me? He's going to say it just like in the Gospels. And the entire Christian world is going to be on fire. Going to be on fire because their faith has been vindicated. Their vantage point was different. They were thinking the Gospels were history, and Jesus was long ago. But he's going to come and tell them straight out, where in my word did I ever say there was a second coming? Because it's nowhere in the Bible. That is Christian myth, that there were two comings. It's always been one. And he's going to sell it to the Christian world, and they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it. And then the Christian world is going to go on. It's going to go on a rampage like this world has never seen. Because the enemy then is going to be whoever is considered to be the synagogue of Satan, because they killed the Christ. Yeah. That after 2040, all that's going to erupt. But when the sun darkens in May 16th, 2040, those new to my channel, you don't know, I have an entire playlist and many published books about this one date, May 16th, 2040. Phoenix phenomenon every 138 years, and this is a big one. It's third magnitude. Sun will go dark, and the moon will turn its blood, and stones will fall from the sky, and there will be earthquakes, and that's when they're going to crucify the Luciferian Christ. Albert Pike and Mazzini were very specific. World War III is not the end of Christianity. It's an exhausting of Christianity to be able to move it into Luciferianism. And Lucifer is the Antichrist, the instead of Christ. He is the light bringer. It's going to fool everybody. And the book of Revelation calls it the strong delusion. It's so easy to see once you see it. But, yeah, for those, I'm seeing those misquotes all over social media about World War III was supposed to be the end of everything. World War III is supposed to be the end of Christianity, the end of the United States of America. The United States even mentioned in the Mazzini plan. It's not. It's the end. It's the end of anybody relying on independent cultural religions, because Luciferianism is all about bringing in a light bringer who ends religion. It's the false Christ, and he's going to have a ministry, and he's going to have this beautiful, awesome utopian society, and society is going to change overnight, and it's going to be it's going to be literally a great reset, and it's going to be awesome, and people are going to be like, and this is exactly what we have in biblical eschatology. People will be marrying, they will be eating and drinking, they will be marrying, they will be given in marriage, they'll be doing all these things normal societies do when they're in peace, and then all of a sudden the end comes, because the end begins with the sixth seal, the sun darkening. So for those you don't know about the sixth seal, you really need to see my Phoenix playlist, because it will, if you're new to my channel, it will blow your mind. You will learn more about the true historical record with actual ancient texts and all kinds of books to look up and cite to verify, because I'm real big on that. But this is where it's going. They are literally showing us all the evil in order for it to be exposed, for us to feel helpless. You have to understand, this is what this is all about. It's done intentionally so you feel helpless. That's necessary for the Luciferian doctrine. They need the entire world to feel like there's just no hope. These evil people, torture and eat these kids, and they get away with it, and nobody's getting prosecuted, and nobody's going to Guantanamo Bay, and nobody is accountable for their actions, and everybody's vibrating on this frequency of, damn man, what the hell? God hasn't done a damn thing, and these people just get away with it over and over and over. That's what they've already brought us there. We're there now. And then they create a solution, an epic conflict that pits the religions of the world against each other. That's World War III. But it doesn't do away with the nations. It doesn't do away with the peoples. People continue. People continue. Nations continue all through every conflict. But people get exasperated. Judaism doesn't have the answers. Christianity doesn't have the answers. Islam doesn't have the answers. None of them. None of the big three Abrahamic. People start looking everywhere else, but nothing works. No one's held accountable. And then all of a sudden, a catalyst happens, and a light bringer appears among the human family. And then he makes world news. And next thing you know, he's doing some incredible things. And then people, probably Christians, are going to be the first ones to point out, holy shit, that's in the book of Matthew. Holy crap, that's in the book of Luke. They say, wait a minute, isn't that in John? And then he even does things that are found by scholars and known by scholars that are only in the Apocrypha, in the pseudepigraphical text, in the lost books of Eden. And then he starts saying things and doing things that it's like he's living out the very things that have been found in all these hermetic texts, all these strictures of the gnosis. And it's like, and everybody accepts him. He has become all things to all people. And it's the Luciferian plan. And the Luciferian plan unfolds immediately after World War III. But World War III isn't necessarily a world war like World War II. Yeah, there's going to be military action. Yeah, there's going to be stuff like that. But it's more of a battle of the mind with some military operations going on here and there. But it's more of a neighborhood conflict where things are happening in your immediate vicinity because the world's become a melting pot. And Muslims, Christians, and Jews are all tightly fitted in all these little societies together now. I'm still not seeing the dark. And even though the Luciferian plan is going to bring absolute peace and prosperity to the human family, which is required for, you know, the sixth seal. The sixth seal is a period after all this conflict is over with, and the whole world enters this period, and it's because they have a shepherd. He's a false shepherd, but they still have a shepherd. And the sixth seal of the apocalypse is the return of the Phoenix phenomenon when the sun darkens, and they're going to time the crucifixion of Lucifer with that event. Which means long before that event, all this shit has to get wrapped up.